If you live in my life, you see what I see. Pitfalls, brick walls, all of this in front of me. Strain on my brain from the pain that's up under me. Strange days, but I can't change what becomes of me. Trials and tribulations, I was raised in segregation. Not from colors, but from neighborhood and gang affiliations. This what I was facing, coming up in Revelations. By the age of 14, introduced me to the banging. Stranger was my homeboy, Snoopy was my OG. Rudy was a shot caller, Tweety was the BG. This was 89 when the murder rate was critical. East Los Angeles was scandalous and physical. I was right there in the middle of it all, trying to find my way of life, and I sacrificed it all. Taught me everything about the game I need to know. This is how it goes. Yeah.
Let's talk about it. Yo, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yo, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yo, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yo, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yo, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yo, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yo, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yo, let's talk about it.
Yes, sir, and we are back like that. Once again, it's your boy, G-Lew, with my homeboy, Mike Cardinale, Big D, keeping it real with the Bengals jersey on. Tonight, everyone give it up for Big D, man. Bengals doing big things. Salute, salute.
What up, everybody? Welcome back to the G-Lew Show. How's everybody doing? Happy holidays, man. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. You know how we do it. We're just here, just going to be talking a little bit of, a little bit of everything. But nobody moved, nobody hurts. It's the same thugs. We loving it, living it. It's the G-Lew Show.
Yeah, yay. Big D, baby. Let's go.
What up, baby? Let's go.
The only product of the 90s.
You got a little excitement. If you all know about a bully, I'm in tight mix. Hey, what up, everybody? I'm about to get down on these lyrics, man. Johnny G would have thrown me out there, man. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Made my decision.
What up, big dog? What's popping? Shout out to my homeboy.
Let's talk about it, everybody. Let's talk about
it tonight. Man. We are back, man. We're off for a week. Big D's been in the snow doing his thing, and he's back from the snowstorm. So let everyone know what's popping, big dog. Good to see you, big homie. Love.
Good to see you too, man. Merry Christmas, man. Happy holidays, bro.
Salute. Likewise.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Yeah. What's going on, Big D?
Oh, man, ain't nothing but a bottle of some BS. A lot of that going around right now, man. So we still, living, moving forward, and about to get our dizzle on. Let's do it.
Yeah, yay. Tell them what we're talking about tonight, man. We got a few things we're talking about. We first kind of kicked this off. What up, Danny? Shout out to the homie Hector. Shout out to my sister Monica
in the
chat. And shout out to my producer, DD Hairston. You
what
already
up,
know.
DD? Give a shout out to everybody that's on here, man.
Everyone out there. Salute to you. Salute to you.
From everybody later down when you see this, in 12 hours and 24 hours from east, west, north, south.
Yeah.
Give us a like and subscribe, man, because we just about to get started. It's the end of the year, bro.
Man, already, can you believe it, bro? It's like another year. Oh yeah, tell them, Big D, we were thinking about doing. For all the people that's gonna be kicking it, everyone, we get older, we don't be out in the streets busting guns and New Year's and all that, homie. We maybe go to church, say a prayer, you know what I mean, and relax in our home with our family and loved ones. So we're thinking about having a kickback that night, you know what I mean, on New Year's and bringing it right with my homeboy Big D and the whole family. So everybody, if you're down with it, we're thinking about doing that New Year. So join us. We're gonna have a big old party, man, right here in the comfort
of our home. Man. This is safe. 2024.
You know what I mean? It's gonna be big. Everyone tap in. Go ahead, Big D.
How's everybody doing this night, man? Like I said, just wanted to say appreciate everybody that's out there, man. Subscribed and just keep rocking with us, man. It's been a pleasure. It's been a long year. Trying to make some changes up. I was just talking to Pops right here and just discussing decisions. We're just collaborating, brainstorming and just trying to take this, his channel to another direction and just doing a little bit more things because people like you that are subscribing and liking and just keep letting everybody know, we're a little bit of everything, two minds together, work together. It's better than one, right? So we're excited, man. Like I said, it's the holidays. Happy time with your family, all your loved ones that are out there with your kids. I know it's, but there's still things to talk about, man. So like I said, it's another episode. So let's talk about it, baby.
Let's do it.
Let's talk about
Let's
it.
do it.
All right. So as you can see,
let's talk about it. Yo, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yo, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yo, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yo, let's talk about it.
Okay. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah, like you said, how many of you guys heard and are just even tap in like with today's news events that take place across this world and all this, crazy stuff without social media, around social media, should I tell you? There's a lot of good things that you could hear from it. And there's some always good news or good channels that are just doing their things out there. There's always stuff that's entertaining and that will captivate, what your interest is. And so, like I said, we just want to do a lot of different things and give you guys, your opinion. And don't forget, to leave your comment. Don't forget to call in. I'm pretty sure Pops has his number. And let's make this a relationship and let's keep rocking, man. But as you guys can see, we're gonna be talking about, you guys heard as of lately, maybe last week, the Brittany Greer, right? That's her name.
Brittany Griner.
Brittany Griner. For some of you those that don't know, she is a WNBA professional, right?
Yes.
And apparently, sometimes in the off season, some professionals they do, or some that are have different contracts, to play overseas and so forth. They get to go over there and have that privilege to make a little bit more money representing or playing for other teams in different countries, right? Different states and so forth. Unfortunately, she made a bad decision, right? She was caught with a certain amount. I don't know if it was a vape or I'm pretty sure it was something with vaping, right? I was looking
at the vape cartridges. I guess the stuff you put in the vape, for the vape, the vape cartridges for the the vapes. But
right, but it was
the THC one. It contained the ooh wee, as they say.
Right. And because of that, she apparently put herself in a situation where she was incarcerated, right? She was arrested. Yes. I was looking at that. If you guys do know and guys are following, but the thing that I'm trying to get to is that she was held for several months, I believe, right? Almost several months. 8 months.
Yeah, around there.
Yeah, around 10 to 8 months, I think. And their whole thing was being the whole topic was her about being released and the subject on her releasing and other individuals. Well, let me tell you that there's other people that have been incarcerated for doing other things that how other countries they play the game of chess, right? They got their spies over here, we got their spies over there, or you could be dictating something, not even dictating, but politicizing something that's not in their culture or in their belief, or they view you as a threat or anything else. We already know that when it comes to drugs or any kind of paraphernalia that's not good, whether it was a cartridge, a pen, or she actually got caught with a pipe, there's consequences in every other country, right? And unfortunately, she made a bad decision and she was caught with a cartridge. So, I think honestly, she was very, harshly, judged. She was heavily, punished for some, CBD or whether it was marijuana or the cartridge or so forth. You got to understand these other people or these other countries, they dictate, with the iron fist, and they're playing those kind of games. Their rules and their regulations are totally different from America's, right? One thing about this beautiful country that we have to go through a court system. We're not brutality and cruelty could be executed that within that 10 minutes. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
They could give you the hang or, however they want to, end your way of living, they have the right to do it. So moving forward, like I said, I wanted to know, and this was the big thing for you guys or anybody to talk about is, do you guys think was her being released, was it justification to what it is our freedom, how the United States reciprocate us and care about us as civilians, or was she released on a different kind of, people would say favoritism, or she was a celebrity, or so forth. Brittany Grill, she does support, and she does live, a certain way of living from everybody else does. Everybody's different, right? Everybody's household's different. So, shout out to the LGBT community and what she believes and everything, so forth, right? So it seems like she was publicly used, maybe was it was kind of hard for me to see and recognize, the political standards of this, right? Because you got people in this, if you're United States citizens, I've seen a lot of it back and forth,
Right.
people have their opinions, what I'm saying? Opinions, they vary, right? Some matter, some do. Depends how it hits you. It depends if you're living that situation. Depends if you're in that hospital bed, or depends you're that poor man, trying to make that bill. It all depends. Everybody has an opinion, right? We could say this, we could say that. And that's what we're trying to get to is the bottom line. Me personally, like I said, no matter how much, I respect the the individual, but I think personally she still made a crucial decision. And then after that, I think her release was based on more like a political situation,
It was definitely political.
a government,
Yes.
worldview. You know what I'm saying? People will say like, "Wow, how could you say that?" I mean, it's just why were these other individuals released first? You got people that are over there have been incarcerated a little bit more longer. And this is all for fighting for America, because things go back and forth. Information, data entry, and all that. You really got to be on your P's and Q's when it comes to the outstory and the outside world. Unless you're traveling and been to other nations and other countries. And I'm not to bulge about it. I'm not bragging about it. I have. I mean, I was pretty scared when I went to Belgium, and this was like almost 8 years ago, because through everything, you got to understand, 9/11 changed everything. What I'm saying? Rules and regulations, people have followed, and the whole direction of your privacy is not even, it doesn't even matter.
Right.
Brittany Greer, how did they know that, she even had, some kind of, paraphernalia like that? Obviously, she had to go through a checking situation.
I
She,
think right. I think let me just add this briefly, and I'll
but
let you continue just on that part of like you said, security and things of that nature. How this not to even do. I'm not going to get on my opinion on the situation, but just adding to how
talk about it.
people
Let's talk about
travel,
it.
like yeah, but just on the
Security
strength
is
of
a
traveling and all these things, we definitely. I know us as a bit like we're careful. I'm careful. Like when you travel, you have to know, and we're just regular people. We're not celebrities who get extra care, or some maybe don't even get checked. Some do. Sometimes I think that's how they get caught slipping a lot. But the thing is, like you said, sometimes I think they're removed from the reality that, hey, you know what I mean? It is checkpoints. It is things we can and can't do. And because you see many times, a lot of these celebrities not only get caught with weed or guns, multiple gun cases have been, like I think even someone today got, at the airport with a gun, and they're quote unquote celebrities. So I don't
right,
know how,
right,
like you said, they do these things, because I'm like, wow, every time I travel, boy, I'm extra, because we go through checkpoints, bro. And it's like, you can't mess around with that, bro. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know if some of these people, quote unquote celebrities, do kind of not think or don't care, or what is the case when
decisions.
you travel with their conditions. And in a case like that, with just let me speak on the Brittany Griner thing, like you said, her being caught with what she was caught, whether CBD cartridges, whatever, weed, whatever. Like you said, we got to know these other countries. I'm not even getting to the political side of it and how they kept her in the political part, but we do know these other countries, all of them have strict laws. Some are different than others. And places like Russia, personally, I don't even want to go. I wouldn't even want
Right,
to go, bro. But I
right,
mean, third of all, they have very strict rules, and they have a very different government. It's like it's not democracy. It's different ways they dictate and do
right,
everything, homie. So yeah, it's like, man, that's a dangerous game to play. You know what I mean? And far as her getting caught up, uh, and how they did it at the end of the day is as bad as we think it is, and I admit it is bad, because it's petty, especially over here. Their laws are different, and some of these laws in different countries don't allow drugs at all, and I
right,
think Russia is one of them. So they have very strict rules.
right,
And on one end, we can see why the things are different opposed to here and there. We have big drug problems and all these things because drugs are out of control. These other
right,
countries don't even play those games, homie. So they don't have those issues. They don't have high
right,
homicide rates and all
right.
these other things. But that's a whole
I was
nother
gonna, I was
story.
gonna ask you that.
That's a whole other story. But go ahead, bro.
I was gonna ask you that. And you're right. And it's good how you, it's funny how you say that because every state has different laws, bro.
Right.
Right. And it's funny, like, if I was me and you were traveling and we were going to Mexico and we had 13 pounds of marijuana in our car, or even maybe a vape or two, maybe even a gram, and
Yeah.
we're taking that and driving through the border and they tell you to pull over.
It's a wrap.
And then we know how, our Mexican people down south, their laws are. Now, guess what's going to happen to me and G-Lew, especially if we're decked out the way we are right now.
Right.
You see that UCLA hat and this LA hat?
Right. It's
We're
a
going to
wrap.
jail.
It's a wrap,
Right.
bro.
And the thing is that do you feel at the same time if we call, besides our family, our city council, everything, do you think we'll get that celebrity status or even just say the same respect as
No.
any celebrity, to be honest with you?
No. No. I think if it wasn't a celebrity, just me or you, and that same thing would have happened, we just would be over there forgot about, bro. I mean, seriously, they wouldn't be doing all this. They don't even know who we are. We would just be over there. We're from US and all that, but they don't care. We would be forgotten about and just in the mix in the Russian whatever prison.
So what makes this a big you got to understand, for some people this was a big deal, for some
Yeah.
politician, like you said,
For
you don't have
everyone,
to
a
get
lot.
involved.
I looked
You
at
might
it, me
get into-
personally, like it was bad. Like, why is she over there? Why are they holding her? But like I said, once you understand how this stuff works in the politics and all that, it's not personal. It's not how we feel or think. These other countries have their own laws and their own way of doing things. And then, like you said, when it comes to things of that nature with us and them, it becomes a game of chess. You
Right,
understand? So that's just what it became, all the way political. And they
right,
used her as, she was used upon. And like you said, it isn't fair. Once we find out more information, other people that have been arrested, who they
right,
exchanged her for, it's definitely not fair. But at the same time, I look at it too, like it's not her fault either. She shouldn't go through all this either. You know what I
right,
mean? But it's just sad how this whole thing plays out and people are used like her, really just used as a pawn, really.
right, right.
So it's bad all the way around. But I think it is a lesson at the same time for not only celebrities everywhere, people to wise up and smarten up and don't think you're exempt, whoever you are. You know what I
Right.
mean? So I think it's a lesson, man, more than anything we learn from this.
Now, let me ask you this, bro, right? Okay, let me take it a
Right.
little bit farther, okay? Now, no disrespect to any, community that's out there. Do you think because she was black that had anything to do with it?
Well, I could say yes and no because that could have something to do with it here. We're racially like that don't matter. Definitely could, in a whole nother country, but we deal with that here. So
Right.
that's kind of
I mean, I don't want to make it a political thing.
yeah. So I wouldn't even say I don't know. Of course, I would say yes, but that's something we already deal with here. So way in a different country, I'm sure it can have an effect on it. Uh,
Well, the
but like I
reason
said
why,
too, it's bigger than that too. Her being not only black but a quote unquote celebrity as well, or someone, you
right,
know.
right. But the reason why I asked that because they are prejudiced over there too.
Yeah.
People don't
Yeah.
understand there's prejudice everywhere you go, not
Yes.
just in the United States.
I'm
Let's just
sure.
be
Yeah.
honest.
Yeah.
We're not saying this because her sexual orientation or it's because her color or ethnicity or anything else in that. A lot of things can be looked into this. I mean, how everything was handled, because we can even talk about, like I said, not only her color but her color. There's a war. There's a
Definitely that
war.
had her, I don't even wanna say the wrong how to say it, but her preference is her sexuality as well. I'm sure
Right,
both of those played a big part. Her
right.
being
Because that's
black,
what I was trying
you
to say
being
to you.
this so
Yeah.
quote unquote someone black, big old this, like and then being gay, they all of that,
Because
you
they try
know.
to hide it over there, you know that, right?
Yes,
It's not really allowed over there. Not to
exactly.
say that they can't be, or with their sexual orientation, how they want to be, but if you don't believe in their
It's not open like over here.
traditionally
It's
believe,
not out in the
they
open like
feel
here.
that, yes, they feel that that's kind of, what I mean, bad, I guess, showing whatever they feel as a part of their society, which is not, and which it is, to be honest with you, because us, we still got to accept too, I mean, who these people are as individuals. It shouldn't be sexual orientation or discriminating against any color, or just because she, or even her gender, which I'm pretty sure, I think she presents herself as a female. But these are all these a lot of these dictatorship countries they run by. They're against, they're against women. I
Right.
mean, they're against
Yeah.
women's rights. I mean, their sexual orientation is always, I mean, in attack. Freedom is always, I mean, is always being discussed.
Right.
And these are just boys in the hood that are always hard, not
Mm.
thinking, and just how they want to rule their neighborhood, as the
Right.
way I look at
Facts.
it, because when the car pulls up and who can it be? Let me tell you something. Over here in the United States, a little different. That's what I'm saying. So by her being,
Do you think hold up, Big D, let me add this too. Let me play
all right,
advocate. I don't ever say devil, but let me play advocate. Do you think it sometimes, like I just said, this is a lesson, but at the same time, it kind of makes us look in the mirror to say how not good we have it, but how we take a lot of things for granted over here. You know what I'm saying? And we get brought back. Like I'm sure she was very humbled after her experience over there. You understand?
I'm very
So
grateful.
yeah, exactly. So you think we have that's what I'm saying again, have to look at ourselves and kind of remind ourselves, like, because we are sometimes almost spoiled to a here in America, to an extent.
Exactly. And you don't have to be famous, right? Like what we're saying. We're just blessed and you could be privileged, or you know what I mean, you could be
Privilege.
hardworking at it. And
Yeah.
like I said, you go over there and make a bad decision in Mexico, you won't probably even have that kind of
Yeah, you ain't gotta
publicity.
go away to Russia. You go down to the border, right
You
down
might not
there
have
down
that
south,
publicity
you'll see very quickly,
because you might be
how
you might be
bad it
missing
can
you
get.
might be missing for years. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
man, you'll be lost though.
You
Yeah,
know,
it's very hard.
in the
That's what I'm
wrong
saying. Even now,
neighborhoods,
scared
man.
to go I'm scared to go anywhere, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you, man. Out to the country, bro. I'm like,
It
it's
is.
just like right
It
now,
is.
I'm cool, bro. You know what I
It
mean?
is. It is, people. Let me tell you something. Even though, like I said, when I left to Europe and we landed, I had a major panic attack. And thank God, my cousin, shout out to my cousin Vinny the Foo.
Vinny the
He's a
Fool,
little,
what up?
yeah, he's older than I was, or he's older than I am, should I say? And by like 4 or 5 years, and when we landed, I had a panic attack. And I
Mm.
was telling myself, I told him, like I said, where the hell are we at, man?
How
Because
did you even last that long ass flight though? I've never flown that long. How long was it, the flight?
at least 17. You
Whoa,
know,
nonstop.
from here to Georgia, it's 4 hours, right?
Right.
Yeah, it's 4 hours, and from there I took another. I think it was a 12-hour flight from here over the ocean, man, going across seas. But
Okay, so only about 12. So
yeah,
altogether 17. Okay, okay,
17,
okay. I
right?
got
Two
you. Okay,
different,
that ain't that bad
which
then.
is a little harder because the layovers. Some could be 5, some could be 6.
Right.
And like I said, if you're gonna be going somewhere that far, man, and if you're not really paying attention to the rules and regulations, man, don't expect to be, you know, any kind of celebrity and get that kind of status, man. A lot of this stuff, like I think that was played out, is because of a lot of politics and what's happening around across the world. I mean, let's be honest, what's taking place too. Not only there's a Ukraine and Russia war that's going on too politically,
Right.
so, it's there's ways where it seems like the world still knows how to communicate with each other, especially when it comes to certain people. You won't get this kind of respect or this easy conversation discussions when it comes to like especially Muslim places because they rule totally different from Russia. For some reason, whoever says that Russia and the United States don't have a relationship, that's all lie because we got Brittany here. She's
Right.
back.
Right.
So
Right.
obviously there was an exchange. So there's always willing and dealing across the world or where everything you do. You know what I mean?
What
Whether they're gonna be a coupon person or go try to get the salesman or even try to take the dope dealer, man. There's always
hey,
willing and dealing going on
always
straight
that's how the world see. We don't understand. A lot of people, everything is personal. We think it our way. When you really get into these not only politics, but you get into world politics, it's a big old game out there. It's a lot of stuff. That's why even people don't understand what presidents go through and deal with. When you get into these world politics, it's a lot, bro, and things we will never understand or know
right.
about. But let's talk about that briefly. The exchange, like the homie Hector really asked first, was it a fair exchange? What do you think? And a lot of people are upset about that. What do you think about that exchange that went down for Brittany Griner for this other guy? That the only way they were going to make this happen, and they knew they were pressing the U.S. because okay, we're going to press you. This is what we want, or you can see her suffer, and they were letting us see her go through prison
Yeah.
camps and all these things. So it was definitely chess. But what do you think about the exchange that went down?
Well,
What up, Mr. B?
like we were just talking about, you got to understand this, man. We saw this when Donald Trump was president a couple years back, right?
Right,
They brought that young guy from North Korea. How did
right.
they bring him back? They brought him back already dying, bro.
Mm.
Totally different an exchange, to be honest with you. They sent that guy from North Korea and send him home to die. he was already on his deathbed, to be honest with
Right.
you. And that's Donald Trump, So, Biden, politically, like you said, I don't want to get too much into it, but you got to understand, man, it has to be done through through presidency or people in the top, top of the chain of command that are making these decisions. The president has a lot to do with it, to be honest with you.
Right.
When it comes to him, he's willing and dealing. They're negotiating. They're doing their thing. Now, from my understanding, they wanted 2-for-1, right?
Mm.
I heard the United States wanted to. They're trying to release 2 people for one Russian, and
'Cause this guy is pretty serious from what I hear.
and that guy is pretty serious, and that's where the negotiations and the controversy comes in, and who gets to get out, who has to stay in, who has to die, who has to live. It's just life, man.
How do
Negotiation.
you think these other people feel? Like you said, we don't know it's numerous other people that we don't even know about that are there, right? That we hear some army or military veterans, things of that nature. A lot of stuff going on that are being kind of political imprisoned as well. That may feel a certain way. You know what I mean? So what about that part?
Yeah, well, like you said, everything about traveling. Like I said, going back to like experience, man. Like I could have got caught up, kidnapped, held for hostage or ransom or whatever. That's just
Right.
the way the ball bounces, man. You go to certain places and they're pretty cool. If you don't, then you're gonna struggle. And these are the situations that occur now. As far as the fairism as negotiations, I know, man. Maybe to my family, I'm worth something, but to the rest of the world, I ain't worth shit. You know
Right.
what
Right.
I'm saying?
Speak on it.
I'm just
Speak
keeping
on
it
it.
real,
Let's
people.
talk
You know what
about
I'm
it.
saying? Just because I'm a
Let's talk
gangster,
about it.
having fun.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah. Now, maybe depending what kind of celeb, depending if there's an awareness going on, because I would hope that my family will be the ones that are pressing the government, and so forth, letting them know that, hey, I'm being hostage and how I'm being treated. I want Red Cross and everybody to be my aid too. Why should it, this is what we're talking about. Now, in other countries, like I said, you could go to Europe and get away with a lot. You go to an Islamic state, man. You go to Iran and try to say you're this and that, and you're from LA and all this, man. You're gonna be hung upside down and stuff. You can play the LA card over there down
Right. Right.
over there in Amsterdam, but let me try to say that in China, bro. You know what I'm saying? You better be
So
walking.
totally two different things. Yeah. Yeah.
You got to be walking between the tail between your legs sometimes. Depending where you go, man. And
It's
that's
almost like, again, knowing I think always being aware of your surroundings. So, period, point blank, I'm not going to another country, period, even playing around like
right.
that. You know what I mean? But like I said, again, I think it's a difference with, like I said, celebrities. Celebrities have a different type of
Right.
leeway and things they do get away with, or just are almost regular to them,
Have more coverage.
that we don't deal with. Yeah. So I think sometimes they get removed from reality and forget that, just like that, they can be, caught up as well. You
Right.
know what I mean? And that's just an example of it.
Right, right. And that's the part, like I said, in most cases, it could be, but like I said, you're going to another place, your celebrity status, I mean, whatever that's going to make it more or make it less. Now, just like you were saying, I like how you said it perfectly right now. It's depending how your celebrity status is. It's the same thing like how we have these rappers coming to LA and nobody knows what's happening. But unless they publicize it, unless you're somebody,
Right.
Eddie Greer was a somebody, you
Right.
come down, you show them, hey, where's your spot? Or you show them what you're doing, whether you're going to be detained by the cops or somebody's going to detain you personally. That's just the way it is. So anything that occurs in Russia or anything that happens somewhere else can also happen here in the motherland, straight up,
Right.
you want to act like a gangster having fun, then, you could be a gangster the next day being done, and that's just the way it rolls now. Publicly, like you said, because she's a celebrity, yeah, she has more coverage. She's, it's a more exposure. It's good for entertainment, to be honest with you. It's good for all the news briefing and casting. Hey, they got a prisoner. But like you said, if it was Pops or me, they wouldn't give a damn. Now,
Yeah.
I'm thinking, ask me this now. Ask me this now.
What?
Let's talk about it, people, right?
What's up with it? What up, Polo?
What's up, Polo? Well, shout out to Hector, man, with those good questions.
Yeah, Hector.
Yeah, shout out to everybody. JM, what's up, man? Hi, DD. Now let me ask you this, homie. Now, if it was me and you, getting caught, and you know what I mean, and Biden was gonna pick one of us to be released, You know, where we going with that, man? You know what I'm saying? Let's talk about it, people. You know, where we go with that? Now,
I don't even
what I
think
mean
Biden
by
would
that, I think
would
I
say
know
it.
what you're talking about, what I'm talking about, right?
Right.
Yeah. Now, you know, tell me that part, homie.
I mean, yeah, I get it, and I see what you're saying, but I don't even think personally, like you said again earlier, if it's me and you, they're not gonna care. Period, bro. I mean, they're not. That's what I think personally.
Right. You know, because then sometimes, you know, people look at, you know what I mean, it could be a color thing, racial thing, and like I said, it could be
Yeah.
a celebrity thing, you know, how big your bags are, you know, how your money thing, your riches and everything you contain. It's your status, you know. And it's pretty unfortunate. That's where a lot of people think right now, you know, especially in the motherland here, is like, what did we get in exchange for Brittany Greer, you know, besides her freedom? Like you said, you know, she went over there, she got busted, and single-handedly, she can't reject it. That's part of the policy. It's like us coming over here. If I commit a 211 armed robbery in the United States, anywhere I go, I'm going to do the time, man. I can't get released over my status or my goodness or I'm sorry or my pettiness or whatever.
Right.
Some laws are mandated, bro, and they're there, you know, to be. But like this is more of a political thing. No matter how much more we try to run away from it, it has to do with politics, you know, because for political reasons, not only was she a black, not only was she a celebrity, she was granted, you know, her freedom because of some of those status, her LGBT community, her home, her family, everything has to take and stay.
Do you
You
hold on? Now that you did say that though, this just came to me too. Do you think she got, because we know the LGBT community is a very strong community? Do you think, just like how we were saying, that had anything to do with her over there being criticized or whatever against? Do you think the LGBT community was a big reason for her release as well? Like, do you think they were really like some of the supporters or people pushing for her to be released? Because I didn't really hear nothing about them this whole time, and they're,
right,
they have a
right.
big
That's a little
community.
funny.
You
Good,
know what I
good.
mean? That stands up, and I heard a lot. So that just came to me, homie. What do you think about that? Because I didn't really hear about them, or maybe I don't know.
You know, shout out to that. It was a good question, bro. Because in all honesty, I didn't really see that type of
I didn't hear them
group. I didn't see that type of
protesting or
group
anything. Usually how they protest, and
for
I didn't hear any of
sexuality.
that.
And not only that, her being female,
Yeah,
her gender, I didn't really see any rallies or anything, you know, people gathering at the DC and everything else. You're right. No, and I'm not, you know, what's crazy part is that I'm not, you know, I'm pretty sure we're not, you know what I mean, mocking or just, you know what I mean, touching on this,
right.
the LGBTQ
It's
community.
just a
But
serious question because I
where
thought
was,
about,
yeah,
because you know.
right, right. Where was that community? And I didn't really see out of all these months, to be honest with you, because she was held down for a quick minute, you know, and it wasn't easy, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that one, it's a good question. You know, I can't really, you know, say much more than what you already said it, and I think that was pretty clear. But you know, I think it's a lesson to be learned, not only for that LGBT community, you know, for the Black community, for the women community. Her freedom it was still granted, which we're glad to see. You know, she's home. But in all honesty, some people are a little upset because they're trying to say that you know we still have other people, and the
Yeah.
exchange is not, you know, I mean, wasn't worth it. Now, I totally understand that you can't make everybody happy. You know, that's just the way it is. But I'll tell you one thing: you can tell her and her family, she's happy as freak.
Yeah, she's happy.
She's
She's
happy as
happy.
freak. You know, freedom is everything, people.
And
Let
I'm
me
sure
tell you
she's
something.
very humbled. Like I said too, like this has to really change her life, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Has to, and I hope for the better. Let me see.
Yeah,
Hector's asking some good questions, but
yeah, right,
we
right.
already know Hector. Let me go back just to the top a bit. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Hector initially said, right, let me see. Let me go back to the top. Okay. Okay. Was the prisoner exchange a fair exchange? So we kind of touched on that. This is what we're talking about. Shout out to you, Hector, for the great questions, homie.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
I mean,
and he said rules are rules. Drug possession case in exchange for mass weapons distribution isn't a fair exchange. So he's definitely against it. DD said celebrities, politicians constantly get caught. So let me go down a bit. He said this could be a problem because uh other countries can try to lock other Americans up to manipulate the system, like start really playing chess with us.
right.
Uh, but I don't think because I think it was a lot of pressure for this. It caught a lot of at towards the end, coverage and everything. So this was kind of big, and I think they
Yeah.
kind of had Biden on the ropes to do something. But
Right.
like he said, as far as them doing this in the future, I don't think things like this will keep happening, because as much as we push for this and people wanted to get her home, like you see, there's a lot of flack as well, and people don't agree with it. So I don't think these things can happen in the future in that nature as you're asking the question, me personally. Especially
Right.
if you put Trump in there. Trump ain't playing none of those games. Let him tell it. What up, Denise? So yeah, no. Let me see. Putin said other guy is a spy and he wants one of his spies released. But someone else says something else. Let me see about okay. I wonder if they will ever exchange someone like Chapo Guzman.
See, now, see, that just brings up. That's where it comes political now. You got to understand that. See, no matter how far you try to deteriorate from it or just change the narrative, there's always in my life, and you already know, pops, never say never, man. Anything's
Right.
possible. Anything's negotiable. Money's always involved. Politics are always involved. Freedom and being incarcerated. It just goes hands to hand in life. My thing is not only does it matter because her celebrity status. I mean, it's just like, as far as like, everybody wants to know the equality of it, right? That's what everybody's asking for. Is it a fair trade? Is it fair for this? Well, it depends. Coming, if you're the family member, I'm pretty sure they're so happy right now. Like I said, like 5 minutes ago, they're celebrating. She's home. She's here for the holidays, and that's just the way it is. And she gets to continue to do and live her life, move forward. And like you said, hopefully she makes those dire, decisions now because of
Yeah,
what she
definitely.
experienced.
Sure, this is changed her
Some
life.
people, I could tell an inmate on why did you go back the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth time, and they're gonna tell you because, hey, whatever
Yeah,
they want
but
to reason.
that's a good question too, because I would say, me personally, like, this was a lesson, and you would think even someone like Brittany or anyone else, they definitely will think before doing something like that, taking any type of things like that to Russia or on a plane with them anywhere. But just as we say that, like you said, we've been locked up. You've seen people, and again, this is America, so maybe it's different, but people never learn. Like, we see multiple people come back to jail on the same type of charges. You know what I mean? Not only before you leave, you see them again. So it's like,
And that
do
and that
people really learn,
is yeah,
or is
that's
it different?
yeah, my bad. That's usually because of the situation, because they got a rap sheet. Now she just made one in Russia, and I don't think she's ever going back.
Right? Yeah, I don't think so either. I wouldn't.
So
I
so
agree.
those are the decisions that are very, like I said, and she just put this country and on a status to let, hey, that they were there for her, and she was able to defeat the odds,
Right.
and she gained
Do
her
you
freedom
do you
back.
Okay, now that's another thing. Do you think now she will appreciate, because from what I hear, let Trump say that this is someone who didn't even love her country or respect her country. So not only we know she's grateful, but do you think moving forward she will give more respect to the country and more big it up? So, like, America, opposed to maybe not so much, like, after this happened, or do you think she's obligated to?
Now, it's funny that you say that, because you say we were not going to talk into politics. You know what I'm saying? But
Hey,
yes,
we
I
gotta
did.
talk
I
about it
did see Trump.
respectfully.
You know what I mean?
Respectfully. Right.
This is a reaction tonight. You know what I mean? Shout out to everybody tapping in, to make sure you let everybody else know. We're on another direction and we right here. But going back to what you were saying, is that yes, everything has to be, like I said, make a political decisions. I make political decisions at home, man. You know how the money goes, and my wife. We all make political decisions. Now, it is funny how Trump did bring up, and it's funny how people do bring up your past.
Right.
And
Let's talk.
not only is Brittany Greer, there's a lot of people that said that they wouldn't be a part of this country if Trump was president or so forth and this and that. And to me, that's what you got to be careful in, because like you said, Pops, this is the greatest country in the earth. And we know respectfully our laws and our freedoms, they go hand in hand. And if there's any violation in between, guess what? It's called jail or prison. There's consequences and everything. How could we say that this was a bit and also a political term, and her being respectful, she could get busted over here? So I think she would appreciate more of her freedom now, because she got her freedom taken away somewhere else. So I think, coming back over here, be locked up. I mean, I know homie that got busted in Tijuana, homie, and they say like, dude, because the systems are different. Over there, they just write you a piece of paper. Guess what? A piece of paper could get lost.
Right.
But if you're in a data entry system where they have your name and locked down, where they can find you, that's a different story. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. She better.
So that's where I was gonna go. That's where I was gonna get to, right? And then I almost want to put this as a poll, DD. If we can put this as a poll in the question in the comments, or we can pin this up top. Yes. Do you think personally, we're taking feelings out of it, we take facts over feelings? Do you think
feelings? I know our feelings.
Brittany Griner, or even you, if this was to happen to you, you were stuck in a whole other country, didn't know what you're gonna do. I'm sure it was crazy, you know what I mean? And somehow the U.S. country, you know what I mean? You may have, and this is all of us. We're minorities, had our own opinions.
Right. It's not about color.
Yeah. But if you are this person, this is her or you, do you think you are obligated, once this happens and they get you back and bring you back home safely, do you think you're obligated now to have a different outlook or opinion about your country and how you represent it? Or do you think you're obligated? Either or. I'm going to put that up there. What up,
okay,
Gilbert?
So I got a little story to that, okay? I have a great story when I went to Europe. I hadn't even told it yet, but you will see it, soon. I got new things coming out New Year. Check me out, Big D, keeping it real. Anyways, I was stranded in Amsterdam for.
Ain't a bad place to be stranded, though. I hear. I don't know.
But
go ahead, bro.
It is a bad when you have no money, nowhere to nobody, where to live, doing all of that, because it came to my mind, if I'm gonna be in a place where it's unknown, and I knew the security levels were not that high, because in Europe there's less deaths and killings and so forth. They have a different attitude, and less cops, and actually the people are the dictators of that country than the police are. In Europe, in some place in in Amsterdam, the Netherlands, they're pretty soft on not soft as far as like their laws and rules and regulations. Just as people don't break the laws over there, like in Japan or Korea, they're not really criminals that are out there. Certain places of the world where you're not committing crime, not everybody's a bad guy. The struggle is not real over there. They get to live like freaking, like if you're from the Lord of the Rings, the little guys. What I'm saying, the little, you live cool. But now I got stranded for 5 hours because I tried to jump on another plane when I was supposed to go to Ireland and jump on the plane from there. We had layovers. If people don't know what layovers are, you catch another flight in between your whole flight, to get to where you need to go, if that's understandable. But, when I found out that my ticket had voided, it was canceled because when they thought that I didn't take seat as a passenger over there, and I think it was Denmark. Once I didn't enter the Denmark, to the flight, and then and it landed in Amsterdam, my flight was canceled. Okay, so now I'm stranded. I went to tell the teller, and they're telling me this was at midnight already. They're already shutting down. I caught the last teller like at 12 o'clock. Me and my cousin got back from the city. We're gonna spend the night and catch the plane in the morning. Well, he was 4 hours before me. So to make a long story short, my thing was canceled because because I caught the layover. I didn't catch my initial flight. So they canceled me. So they told me, like, hey, the guy told me, look, I could still give you your ticket. Your plane comes at 5 o'clock. It's freaking 7 in the morning. He goes, if you could get a plane ticket, the other $300 the way you were supposed to pay it. He goes, oh, you could get your ticket for regular price. He goes, sir. He goes, you're going from Amsterdam to freaking LA. He goes, after 5 o'clock. He goes, imagine trying to get a ticket to New York.
Right.
I was like, man, that's my cousin. My whole my life, I know how probably great. I wasn't even busted, bro. Okay, I just didn't have my way out of that country, man, and that freaking made me feel so not independent. Everything was taken away, my freedom and everything else. Because no, people, I wasn't gonna think of going back to the red light district and start being on my body. I did think of that. I ain't gonna lie, But my first thinking. I gotta hustle. You gotta keep it real, man. It's whether you live or die. You know what I'm saying? But my first thing was to go to an ambassador and try to get a political, help. That's what I was gonna do. The first thing, because my cousin said, "Bro, I gotta go. I have my family." My cousin left me too.
Right. I
Straight out.
can't stay here with you,
You know,
bro.
he didn't stay here. He's like, cousin, I
Damn.
gotta go, bro. But I ain't gonna
Damn.
lie, though. It's a funny story, long story. My cousin did help me out in the end, and it was crazy how it happened. But anyways,
Right.
Will, you know, as an
That's not a
American,
good feel, bro, to be in a whole nother country stranded. That's why I just never
stranded, you know,
like
deliberately and literally stranded,
imagine.
not knowing the language, not knowing how to, you know, how you're gonna live the next day. Now I could survive without eating like a couple of days, but you know, how do I actually ask for, you know, beg for money or do whatever? Like, I didn't have a charger. How was I gonna get a hold of it? How am I even gonna tell these people where's the U.S. embassy at? They would have looked at me. I could have been like 20 hours away. So, you know, being stranded and being somewhere else, man. It's like a locked up in abroad, man, on the Discovery Channel. You know,
Yeah.
she did a tranza, and you know, she you know, it was, I ain't gonna say it's an addiction, but I don't even know, because that's another thing. You know, why was she even doing that?
But see, that's
What
another thing
was
we
the
have to
mental do
address
that?
because why are people taking these type of chances? You know what I mean? When they know the outcome, but I think it's that bad in some of these places though that people do take these chances, bro, because
They think
it's
we're
50
un. They think
50
we're
like
un.
rolling the dice. But if you make it
Yeah,
over there, you got this, which really ain't worth it either. Once we break down what a lot of people are getting paid, it's not worth you getting 20
no, she's
years.
not.
You
It's
know,
not. She's
it's
not.
not.
She's not a
But
professional
people are
drug.
taking these
drug
chances
trans- She's
because
not.
it's that bad though.
Yeah, it's not like she did this 20,000 times and got away with it.
Right.
It's not, you know. Some people just, you know what I mean, make critical things, decisions, and you know, and put in a situation where now we have to negotiate for an individual making a stupid decision. See, now stupidity doesn't care if you're a man or a woman or what kind of ethnicity or whatever. You know, if you're gonna make a stupid decision, that's a stupid decision, period. And that's just human nature. You know, we do certain things like that, and you got to be careful what you do, because you know, now she put this country in a situation, and now we're negotiating.
Right.
And you know, some people think we lost, and some people think we won. You know, like I said, we talked about a topic like you did 15 minutes ago about she, you know, she's very involved in the community. You know, and I didn't see any of that community come out much
No, they did
more
not.
than the
They did not.
political
That's why
community
I
come
asked
out.
that. I did not hear
You
anything
know,
about it. And I'm glad
so
Big D, again, you touched on this because we have to get to a point we're talking like personal feelings out of it. One thing you did just say is that people don't understand that part. Like we talked about earlier, once you get into these world politics and things of that nature, like we're looking at it bad, like this girl shouldn't be over there and we wanted her home. But like you said, something like that, a dumb mistake could jeopardize a lot that people don't know when you get into these worldly politics, you know, with these other countries, and we have situations like this that people can't even really fathom or think about because they don't know how deep it gets. You know what I
well,
mean?
yeah, because I'm thinking like you're thinking, bro. I'm thinking we just talked about it too, like 10 minutes ago.
Man,
What about if it was me? What about if it was you? I want that same respect. I want that same push. I want my government, no matter my stupid decisions that I make, if I go over to Mexico or God forbid, you know, that's why I don't make stupid decisions. Or I try not to make stupid decisions, and it still happens. It's not being perfect, but know your laws, man. Know
yeah, that's what I'm
yourself.
saying. We have to get more educated. I think
Know
that's
your
where it starts at, and that is part of the problem with not only things going on way over there in Russia, but here as well in the land and places where people are just not educated on laws and things they can and can't do and the consequences of some of these things, homie. That's where it starts at. So we have to start educating ourselves a lot more on things that are going on around us and things that we do or put ourselves in positions or situations in that we may not know what the outcome is, just like contracts we sign and people got bad contracts because they
exactly.
really didn't read it, because I know it's thick and 100 pages, but
Yeah.
it's that way
Because
for a
that first
reason. So
paper,
it's
that first,
education, homie.
yeah, that
Go ahead,
first
bro.
paper, pops. My bad. The first paper they're going to show you is that check before the
That
contract.
part. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They'll be, I'll give you this $1 million check, but whatever you make out of it, you know, it's gonna fall in my hands. And sometimes those contracts could be bloody hands, bloody contracts. You just don't know the type of level of you know, the decisions you make, man. And like you said, like Pops just said, you know the law, you know the things that are taking, period. If you can't be caught with drugs here, personally, that should tell you can't be caught with drugs in the outer world either. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That's where people, but you know, I'm not here to grind on her release or mock it or I'm just want to know, And I think we're trying to understand is that was it a fair, a fair, I wouldn't want to say release because nobody wins in those situations, bro. Freedom should be substantial to everybody in our mind, our body, our soul, whatever. Freedom should be our first option to tell you the truth, because we are human beings and we deserve every right to live, a freely life without any. But there's are people who are troublemakers and like to make their own rules, and that's what happens sometimes. I used to go by that motto. I ain't breaking the rules, I'm bending them. But guess what? If you bend the rules too, you're gonna get popped, man.
So what do you think we as a people, we as as a whole, we can take from this whole thing? Because like you said, there's no one really wanting this. People, well, I would say Americans definitely wanted her home and glad she's home. But a lot of people, like you said, still feel a certain type of way of how it went down and don't appreciate it. And so no one really wins in this situation. What do you think we could take from this whole thing? I think we made a lot of good points in here tonight of what we could take from it, what we need to learn from it. What do you think as a whole we take from
Well,
this, BT? And then we'll move on because I know we had some other things briefly to
no,
talk
no,
about
that's
too.
good. No, we could stay on this. It's doubt a lot. But taking from this, it's just decision making and politics. Decision parts, man. When we go to court, we go to jail. For some of us that even made it that little far, we go to court. You have a jury. You're set, and the decision has to be made, man. You got other people that are deciding whether you're going to live or die. You know what I mean? Let's just say the death penalty, and that's how life just is. Period, man. The decisions you make can honestly, what I mean, have a lot of consequences in your life, as far as your next move. To tell you the truth, and the only thing I think that we could take from this is don't, whether you're a celebrity or not. I'm glad you brought that up, and even non-celebrities, man, because there's more non-celebrities than celebrities. Let's just be
That
honest
part.
with you. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So always, whatever laws that are here implemented in America, they're pretty much the laws implemented across the world. You guys
Learn your laws. We got to learn. We got to
learn the
push that.
laws.
Never too old. Don't think you're ever too old to learn a new trick or learn new information, man. Learn your laws though, because that is a lot of times what limits us and stifles us, that we don't know our laws. That's why some homies go into prison or go to jail, homie, and get in their law library and can sometimes even reverse their case, because a lot of times we just don't know, even when it comes to law. And sometimes they could put laws or crimes or charge you with stuff, you know what I mean, that you don't even know what it's about, but you just
Right,
take it because once you're boxed in, you got to take a deal or take these 20 years. Or if they come, okay, well, take this deal where you admit to your guilt, but you only get maybe 5 years and some probation. Okay, let me take this, bro. You know what I mean?
right.
So
Now,
learn your laws, man. Educate yourself. Traveling
yeah.
Charlie, what up? Yeah.
Now you think, my bad. Do you think that other laws, that it's like the it's like people who govern their country have two totally different governing than America. We know that already, right? But it's not, you got to understand, it's not every people don't follow the same policies, man. They don't have amendments and rights and so forth. They're
Right.
still abiding by old traditions and old school laws from back in the days, man. While these
Right.
old school laws are prohibited to what we even believe in these days now, right? Like I say, you look at the laws of the United States are pretty much biblical written. If you go out and kill a person, I'm saying, thou shalt not kill, that's telling you right there that you're disobeying not only man, but you're disobeying God. So how did America, or how did this part of the world even cultivate those type of laws? Okay, it talks about divorce, and it talks about a man cheating, right? It talks about you can't even steal. It talks about being kind to other neighbors, not following idols. And it's crazy. I think we could, we'll change it up a little bit. You know what I mean? Saying
No, no, no.
nobody.
Hold on, Big D.
Yeah,
Let's talk about it because I'm glad you brought that up. Do you think we need to? Because even here in America, period, we have gotten so far away from God, first and foremost, but then not only God, but the things we abide by and the commandments and things of that nature that keep us kind of, on point to where we are now, to where all of that is out the window and everything is haywire. We see that. So do you think maybe we need to get back, and I don't know if there's even a way to do that, but get back to some of these things like learning, just like we said, education, people learning the Bible, learning things, man, scriptures and even God, man. You know what I mean? Things to, do you think that needs to be brought back in a sense?
Yeah, well, you can see already.
What's up? What up?
You could see already, man. A godless world, man, is a world that's divided, separated, angry, hate. You know what I
Right.
mean? Jealous
Like
of the
how we
next
are now. We see
person.
where it's at.
Now, at least what I saw, or I see, or I live, a godly law. There's rules and regulations. Like I said, America follows these rules, and a lot of other countries do too, pretty to almost to the nail. To be honest with you, like I said, that thou shalt not kill. If you get busted for killing in front of the cops, you're going to jail. You get caught for stealing, you're going to jail. You commit adultery, your husband's going to break up with you.
Right.
It's just there's so many of the basic commandments where even man is dictating and making new laws. I don't know if you heard of that. Where the Pope and all that, they're going down, I don't know, to the mountain of Sinai again, and they're additionally making 10 more commandments.
Mm.
Now, that's crazy, see, because traditionally it's only been taught, bought, sold, and we've been living by those rules as most part of this world, especially this part of the Western, countries over here. We follow things, and men have to follow certain rules. I have rules in my house. I'm pretty sure you do, bro. I
Right.
have ways of raising my daughter. I have ways of communicating with my wife. My wife has laws. My daughter has laws. Everybody wants their privacy and want to be heard and outspoken. So, that's what brought Gritney Beer back because of the laws, right? I'm pretty sure it was a law that was implemented, and we should be fighting and trying to get back every held, hostage across the world, man. So now, religion facts, like you say, it's just you see what happens when it's right away. You want to change history, rewrite history, take things away. The country starts getting a little away because the less laws you have to abide by, that means the more laws that you can break, right?
Right.
I mean, if I didn't have no laws, I remember back when I was on the streets, and if I would have taken, I could have done 10 times more damage to my community and to that area more than knowing that I had the law on me, and I got to be careful what I do. And that's going back to what we were talking about earlier. If you go to another country, you're doing something wrong, and if they bust you for it, what do they say? If you can't do the time, don't do
Right.
the
Right.
crime.
You got to be responsible. So that goes back to just common law,
Common,
period. You know what I
yeah,
mean? And especially in other countries. So, and I like what even Pam Taylor said, I believe, as you travel, learn the basic custom, culture, and laws of that country. If you choose to travel, you know what I mean? So yeah, again, education, man. Know where you're going. Don't just say I'm going to this place for a vacation just like if you go to Jamaica or Mexico, just because you're going to a certain part of Mexico, you could easily, you know what I mean? Learn again, educate yourself, be aware of your surroundings. You know what I
right.
mean? Protect yourself at
Look,
all times.
yeah, that's true because look at a brown man like me, have a Mexican background, culture, and probably other parts of what I mean, the culture. I don't even know Spanish, bro, and I don't even know the laws. I know the laws over there. I don't even know the laws over there, but I know not to break them. That's in
Right.
Mexico. I know I'm gonna break no
You
damn
do
law.
know that, and you do know that.
You do know that, and see, color and anything else doesn't matter after that. You know what I'm saying?
You
It's
do know
because
that.
you do know not to break the law. That's just
Mexico is
one
dangerous
part.
now. I don't even, bro. We used to go to just the part. Mexico is dangerous now, man. I mean, it's now. I'm not gonna say that in a
Look at
way.
travel
I
chart. Hey,
mean,
look
you just have to
at
be
this travel
careful.
quotes. Hey, pops, look at this quote right. It's funny, bro. Read it.
Which one? Oh, traveling Charlie. If you get caught stealing in L.A. County, District Attorney Gaskin got your back. Oh my God!
That's pretty sad, man.
Wow.
Because I mean, like I said, man, that was a beautiful thing, man. Beautiful guys tonight, man. I appreciate your participating, man. It's awesome, man. Like I said, we
Yeah.
just going across, man, doing that thing. But even that part, man, that part where people who have, like you said, that all depends who's governing us, bro. Right? Wouldn't we say that? Who's our overhead seers? And it all starts with that's what I'm saying. Politics. We had an episode where we're talking about how important it is to freaking vote. Did we or did not? We had a discussion last month. And this is where it goes. Now we have to go to our local leaders right here, your local city council. That's how it starts. You have to be an activist and make your voice across. I'm saying all these movements have done that. Whether it's any kind of movement, whatever, any color dictating whether it's for farmers or color or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You have to make, some kind a voice and hit your local, your politicians in your community, then you send it to the state, the county, and all so forth. And like you said, you have to know your laws, because if not, these laws can take advantage of you too. Just because you're from California, you have a guy that, however a murder case could go, you don't know the story, right away that, you hear murder, they want to hang you and give you 25 to life, man, So
Right.
they're just sending, especially if it has to do with color, black, brown, we get the most of it,
Right.
and it's just, that's what I'm saying. It's because of the things and the factors that we don't know, and we choose to not knowing is our bad, as far as, us, to be honest with you, to me.
Facts.
You got to know what you're doing, man. You got to know, your rules. It's just like I went to school. It's funny because I didn't know about percentage, right? And when somebody tries to hustle you and sells you a car, they say it's going to be another 25% in it. But if you start learning your mathematics, and I told the guy and I calculated in my head, and I told my wife, this guy is trying to rate me, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I
Right.
was just like,
They do to those car deals.
you know what I'm
Wow.
saying?
Yeah, you have to. Yes. Yes.
And they will take advantage of you because they know you're desperate.
Yes.
That's just the way human nature works on no matter where or what type of environment you're in, man. They're gonna sell you something. Guess what, man? They're gonna try to rape you. They're not gonna be straight up and straight forth. It happens on the streets in a dope dealing game. You know what I'm saying? The homie's trying to sell you 3 for 1, and he's trying to take this kind of price, and you're like, what? Like,
That's
really?
one of the good things. Not good. I don't know, but being coming from the streets is, one of the good things. I can say that in a way is that you learn. You know, you take away things from the streets, even though a lot of people say it may not be good. It's a lot of bad with it, but things you take away is some of that education we're talking about that can't be taught in school. Like you learn people almost because you're being around and people and different people, mainly people that are manipulators and people that want to take advantage of you. So you
Yeah.
learn this stuff firsthand when you come from the streets, homie. So
And like you said, Pops, the blessing is if you educate yourself, now you're not only street smart, but you're book smart. And when somebody tries to swing you and tries to do you dirty, like I said, me and my wife experienced that, man. I caught him on the tail, just like, nah, fool, you ain't taking me for a ride like that, bro. So I went outside. I went and I mean, we went somewhere else, and I got away dealing and told the other people what they were trying to do, and they're like, oh man, they were just trying to gaffle you. Like, no kidding, bro. But I would have not known that if I would have not educated myself, because when it comes to numbers, people want to make the money, but they don't want to learn the money. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right.
You got to
Yeah.
learn the money. You know what I'm saying?
People
Straight up.
want the money, but they don't want, learn the money and know what to do with the money. Cause you could get the money and not know what to do with it and just blow it, homie.
That's
So it's
another one.
education again, man, in so many different ways, man. Education, man. You got to educate yourself some type of way. If it ain't going to college, you better get it in a different way. But education is you have in some type of capacity. You have to educate yourself, man, to make it
Yeah,
out here today.
because you just said it perfectly, man. Not only what I mean, like we're learning the money, but how to spend it too. That's just a good way and a good way to educate yourself, or how to explain it, to tell you the truth, because we should be educating ourselves to make ourselves better. That's what education does, right? To improve. If you want to learn, like I like how I forgot what's her name said on here. She said the best way is to know your culture, know their
Yeah, that was
currency.
Pam Taylor. Yeah, shout out to Pam.
Excuse me. Pam said that. Good. You got to know their currency. You got to know their culture. You got to know this, because it's foreign land. If you guys don't know what foreign land, what I mean, it's just you're somebody else's backyard, straight up. And it's just crazy, man, how this world evolves and how it just changes, and it goes from the world. One thing about the United States, like I say, I like that commercial. It says, while the rest of the world is sleeping, the United States is working, bro. And this place is 24 hours 7 days a week. And what I mean? And that's the way why I think this country evolved and has took off to the next centuries and so forth, because their evolution of making decision and discovering and trying to what I mean, set that milestone and tone. I mean, have you heard what I mean, they even want to put man in the moon within 5 years and something like that, and start making a station
Yeah,
and stuff,
yeah, that's
you
great.
know? So this is something that, if we're willing and blessed, what I mean, we're able to see it. And throughout my lifetime, I thought I would never see a lot of things that have I seen and experienced already in my time life. And
Right.
you guys are probably saying, oh, like, what are you talking about, dog? Like, I was born in the 70s. In the 70s, they didn't have cell phones. In the 70s, they didn't have PlayStation 5s. In the 70s, they didn't have electric cars. And then,
Yeah, exactly. Just in our little time, bro, we've seen so
um,
much. Think about the people who are still living like our mom or older, like they have seen so much, bro. So yeah, time changes fast and quick. You youngsters out
Right?
there who think this and that, man, we watch this stuff, man, evolve and change, and you got to be somewhat again educated and learning certain
Yeah,
things to make it and be relevant and be just
yeah,
make it in here, because so many things have changed, just like you said, Big D, from when we were kids to how they are now. But you got to adapt. You know what I mean? You got to figure it out.
yeah.
Not
It's rather we talked about this too. We had a beautiful episode. You got to go back, like I said, follow my guy G-Lew, check out the playlist. We do talk about certain things, and you got to make your decisions, excuses and so forth. We have them, but what's the speedy recovery? What's the format? How do we make ourselves evaluate and be better, making making better decision makers, and be better educators. I think in some sense I'm an educator as far as like teaching my family, on certain things. Me and my wife were discussing certain things that we've been involved in our education that we, I mean, briefly somewhat tapped into. But then again, through all these years, and now we're at the end of it, my daughter's already been 18, and now we could absorb and get back to where we were. So we have more years of learning than more years of not learning. You know what I'm kind of trying to say? We look at our surroundings, and we look at our natural days of living in our life and our secular time and our secular world, right? Sometimes we're in our own little place, and now that my raising my daughter, and she's at her peak already where she's going to leave the nest, we taught her the rules, we taught her the regulations. Now me and my wife, we made a format where we could fall back on. It's making that format like something you could fall back on, like Pops was just saying right now. And not only what to how to earn the money, but how to spend the money too, in the proper rightly way. And that's how you go with proper education, knowing the rules, how we're talking about, the rules across the land, across the world. Because if you want to be successful, I honestly think you have to be, able to go at least from state to state. I'm not trying to make money just in California. I'm trying to make money across the world, because the more money I make out there is the more money it's going to bring in my pocket, right? I want to give everything my product. It's merchandise, just like dope. I don't want to just sell to my local neighborhood. I want to sell it all
right,
across
you
the city.
expand.
You know
Right.
what I mean? It's just like I want to be that. You know what I mean? That El Chapo. You know what I'm saying? I want to not just. I want to take the world, man. How do you say it? The world is yours,
The world
Scarface.
is
Right?
yours. Yeah.
You
The
know,
world is yours.
and we
Enjoy
just
everything in it.
turn like the world, man. You know what I'm saying? We just keep turning,
Hey,
absorb,
hey,
absorb. You
let me
know?
ask you this, because I've seen someone speak on this, talking about all the things and going to the moon and all this stuff, right? Elon Musk has built. Do you think? But like someone said, instead of the moon, what about the homelessness? Which we know is a big. And I just want to speak on this briefly, because especially in LA, it's probably worse than anywhere in the country. What do we do about that part? And being that we are again in the greatest country, and then you speak about LA, the greatest, one of the greatest cities. What do we do about things like that? And I know again, it's hard. It's very easier said than done, and things of that nature. But where do we do it at this point? Because it is so bad to a place even like LA, where people come and just probably looking like, wow, this is terrible, because homelessness is really, really, really out of control at this point. We
Right.
know this is literally at your doorstep. What do we do about that part? And people, where we have billions of dollars and people worrying about going on the moon, but we have right outside of our doorsteps, homelessness and at an alarming rate. And again, I
Right.
know we can't save everyone. It's politics with even that. But what do we do about that? Where even we should have, maybe with all this money, at least homeless shelter, like better place, like where you don't have to see people on the street like that. You know what I mean?
I mean, let's just be honest, man. There's more money that could be printed. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But the value of that, you know what I'm saying, it depreciates down, because the more money you make is the lesser the value is, But going back to, like, say, what do we do with the homeless? It says it right there. The word is homeless, stop them from being homeless. You know what I mean? Give them a house, give them
Right.
somewhere to place, give them somewhere to go. Me and my wife, we also have experience being in a place, even and through hard times ourselves. And I'm going to keep it real, man, and be very transparent. Me and my wife, not making any bad decisions, just life hits you. Injury happens, you can't work, mother gets sick, so and so, the money's not there. So me and my wife had to go humbly to a shelter, to be honest with you.
Mm.
And from there, we were able to, it's funny because it was like, man, how did this happen to us, how did this, you know what I mean? How did we even inquire or even go through this? How did we get here? See, people are not homeless for a reason, man. You know, they're homeless because there's reasons to it. Let's just be
Right, right,
honest, you know. Nobody
right,
wants to be homeless out there, and especially when it's freezing as F right there outside right
right,
now, especially in Southern California. It's this time of the season, it's the fall, winter. So, you know, the best thing you can do, like I said, is the word is homelessness. Well, it's to give them somewhere to live. It's called livelessness, you know,
right.
and not only just, you know, something that's gonna help them with the, as far as how would I say it,
Something that can help them, because you have
mentally.
to do that, because like you
Yeah,
say, you can house them, but
yeah,
if they're not getting the help, that
yeah,
doesn't matter
yeah,
either. And that's why we see things don't work. It's a bigger solution than just housing someone, because they
right,
need help. They're gonna
right,
still go out and get you mad, because they're probably still going to do drugs or
right.
doing certain things you're mad at that makes you want to put them back out. But that is the problem as well. We have to find solutions to that problem, right?
Right. You know, and that's the thing. You have to find the right people. That's what it is. People that are, you know, educated in those realms, you know, and people who are willing, not only the education, but are willing. You have to have a willing heart. You know what I mean? You have to have a desire. You have to have, you know, the willingness to work with people like that, because these people come already empty.
Right.
They come broken. You know, they're deprived. They've been abused physically, mentally. You know, so much. Me and my wife, we're good, hardworking, paying taxing people, and because of a little, you know, what I mean, the rent people don't care. One day of rent, you know, 1 month of rent, you're gone, man. You know, straight up. Life's gonna keep turning. They're gonna fill in that gap. They're gonna fill in that hole. So these people, you got to create that hole. You got to create that gap, because every void they have, you have to be able to not to try to plug it all up, but get to where the point where it makes sense. And where does it make sense? You got to provide people with a shelter. You know, it's called homelessness for a reason. Why? Because they don't have a home. So how you take away homelessness, you provide them with a shelter, a living security. Once you have a facility or a place, or I mean, just think about it, man, brother. These people have to think about the thought of them being cold outside, and they have to experience that. You go outside right now, it's freaking cold. But if you give somebody a shelter, four walls, a blanket, and a wall, and somebody say, hey, you could lay your rest here tonight and be comfortable and safe, most likely they're going to take that opportunity.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah,
called
there
love and
wasn't
action.
enough money to have plenty of shelter
Right.
or places where people should be able to rest and not on the
But
street,
hold on,
right?
you said that before. You said, like, you know, what about, you know, what is it going to take? Well, here we go. You know, and now it comes in where politics, like I said, I know it's not your avenue. You know what I'm saying? But
Right,
boy, you should have known by now. Big D does it. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right,
So politics have to be involved, and that's where we pick our local LA councilman, mayor, and all that blah 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 blah. Right? Because they're the ones that say, "Hey, I will take away
all
homelessness.
of them say
I
that though, but it's
I
not
will do
not
this.
seen it yet. It's only
I
gotten
will do
worse.
that." Because
It's only gotten worse. No one has done
it's
that
more
yet.
fat pockets. It's more fat pockets for them, you know? You know, a fat mouth gets fat pockets, bro. You know what I'm saying? That's just the way it is, man. You know, you could say this, you could say that. You put yourself in a setup, in a situation, man. Put yourself in that situation, man. You're going against the odds. And like I said, you know, we educate ourselves. We go to school for 20 years, 30, we come here and this and that. Now you're dealing with thousands of homeless people. Now the matter and the deal comes big handed. Now you're part. Now it's in your freaking, you know, on your table, on your platform, on
Yeah,
your desk. How you gonna eliminate homelessness now that you're actually behind the seat to take care of it with all
right,
that power and not knowing a damn thing to do and be like everybody else?
right,
That's what they
right,
do. They sweep it under the rug, man. You know, because for one thing, you're not going to get rid of homelessness. You want to know why? Because a lot of homelessness people, they're looking for drugs and alcohol. And you
yeah,
know where there's a lot of drugs and alcohol? Where the homeless are living at. And that could
right,
be
right,
downtown, it could be in your backyard, it could be
right,
anywhere. You know,
right,
don't act like you don't see it when it's right in front of your face. You know, I could see them. I live in a city over here where you go a couple blocks and it's like I thought it was in Beverly Hills. But a couple blocks down this way, like I said, it all goes back to why does gang violence and everything takes place and so forth. Why is there abortions in every city or this community, not in this community? Why is there weed plants in this community, not this community? Why is there a liquor store in this community, not in that community? It just starts going. So they know how to feed, you know, because these politicians, I honestly believe, and you should know it too, if you're not really believing these facts and you're not educating yourself, they're there to make money, man. You know what I'm saying?
right.
Okay. They get a fat check, you know, and they're going to do the best to what's given to them. Can people do it more? Yeah, of course. But you never heard of that quote? If it ain't broken,
Don't fix
I
it.
fix it. And all these politicians are on about filling their fat pockets, you know. That's all they care about. And some said, now you'll get one or two, but these 1 and 2 that are going to voice their opinion, really care about people, they
They may be
rally,
running up out of there.
they make a movement. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? They're strategically start on the corner and say, hey, I care about these individuals. Let's go out and let's do it for the homeless. Now we're getting a reaction because you're drawing attention. Nobody likes nothing to draw attention, because guess what? When you have your community and your people supporting you, especially people of your color, and it's your narrative and you have a right and it makes sense, then they're going to activate it. They're going to rock with you. You know what I'm saying? Now, to
Facts.
somebody who rocks with homelessness people, and to people that really go out there and rock with the people of the community that have mental illness and so forth, you know, we're just sayers and not even doers, man. So you got to be a doer of yourself. You know, you could talk about it, but you're gonna be about it. And these politicians, the only reason why they're at that level, because they're educated, and they put them on that Senate seat because they could say la 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 la, but they don't care, you know. And if they do, they're restricted and they're too scared to go any farther, to tell you the truth.
Right.
So you gotta have, you know what I mean, somewhere for these people to stay. If you have a building, why don't they just make a big old building that could hold like 200,000 homeless people? Guess what? There wouldn't be no more homeless people. They'd be in the facility.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Just things of that nature. I don't think it's that. Again, I can't speak on the politics and can't save everyone. We know that, but things like that, like you said, have a big facility that can house a lot of home. I think that would be better. Regardless, I think it's better than having people all over the streets, because not only is it bad and people are out there cold and but it looks bad now too.
Animals with them.
It's to the point it looks bad, bro. It's like it's too much at this point. You know what I mean? And it's affecting other people too, because like I said, sometimes now it's literally on your doorstep. Some people that live downtown or stay downtown or even other places, is you go outside go outside right there. It's like right there. So you can't hide. You can't hide from it, So
okay, so what about this? What about this? So if let's just say that their crime rate is up, right? People are breaking the law off the yin yang, you know what I mean? Death crimes, stealing, robberies, you know what I mean? GTAs is getting high. Guess most likely what the city and the community is gonna do, right? Especially the city. They're gonna hire more what?
More police officers.
More police officers. So if there's a homeless epidemic and there's getting out of control, wouldn't you want to build a shelter that, hey, so you could reciprocate and put these people in a place where they don't have to be called homeless people, where they could get some, you know what I mean, attention, whether psychologically, mentally, socially, spiritually, whatever. It's putting a source out there for people. That's how we work together as human beings. I don't know about you.
Look.
I have a source, you know what I mean, that helps me to better myself and what I'm trying to do. And I could help be that same back. I could be that same source to them and maybe give away information. That's the way we go. That's why we go to school, right? We go to school to learn something that we don't know. And that's why we owe the colleges, because now they taught us how to be an engineer, nothing we didn't know about, and this and that. And now we got to pay the schools back because they taught us how to make thousands of dollars, you know what I mean, to make a better life. That's just the way it works.
Right. Hey, Big D, check this out. I'm glad because this is another issue, and I'm glad she put that there, because this it's a good and a bad with this too. I think even with the homeless people. Denise Castillo said her brother was in a shelter. Sometimes these shelters are like a jail. You go to bed and they are. If you've been to the county, I'm sure, but a dorm type situation. So do you think sometimes, especially how we said we want more shelters and more places, do you think how these places are ran sometimes affects even the homeless people? May not even want to, even though they want a place to stay, they don't want to be there because they have to deal with the politics in there. And then, like Denise said, sometimes it's almost like a jail. You know what I mean? So maybe they don't even want to be there.
I experienced that, to be honest with you. Like I was telling, me and my wife became homeless too. So the reason why these shelters are hard and they have like a iron fist ruling too at the same time is because a lot of these people who they have in charge of the lower levels. It's like this, right? You have a level 1, level 2, level 3.
Just there, right there too. Yeah. Go ahead, Big D.
Yeah. I was gonna get in that. So people with the level that we saw, remember the lady that was running the household, because it was for women, and there's some or marriage people that are rarely, that could be there. So they were trying to house me and my wife, and we didn't have to go through. See, when people come to a homeless shelter, most likely they're broken. Their addictions, they've been vandalized, raped, abused emotionally. So that's why a lot of these people are coming to a homeless shelter, most likely because they have a dysfunction or they have an emotional or whatever experience type that they come in. They don't know how to be accountable, responsible, dependable, how to be productive, how to pay bills, and so forth. So when me and my wife, we kind of bypassed that because my wife had a job, I was going to school, so we were looked at as different level, but we still had to stay in a facility where you had to clean, you had to do this, you had to do
Right.
chores, you have to follow the program.
Right.
So I saw at that sense that even though what they were trying to do, because we left a little early, we left in good terms in some sense, and we were able to do it by ourselves because me and my wife, we were not on drugs. Me and my wife, we did have jobs and so forth. We just lost our housing. To be honest,
Right.
we didn't want to lose our housing, so we had to leave because we want to make sure our apartment. You don't want to leave your lease and so forth.
Right.
So, thank God within 2 months, with a little bit of help, we knew how to redeem ourselves and get ourselves back on feet with a little bit of help. A lot of people, they don't know how to get back on their feet with a little bit of help. It takes more time. It
Right.
takes more little of a nurturing, nourishing, discipling, comforting, you have to nurture, you got to train these people how to be a productive citizen. Because a lot of people, how many women do we know that don't even know how to drive a car still to this day in the old man's tradition, like old school? Oh, my husband drives. Oh, my husband does this. Or you don't pay the bills? No. Oh, you don't drive a car? No, my husband drives. Like, what? Are you serious? So your independency has to be taught. As children, aren't we being taught independency? We're being taught, don't do this, don't do that. Why you want to put this? Because you're going to burn your hand. Why are you going to? So these people are many years behind. They're not homeless because, like I said, it could be an emotional situation. It could be it could be because of a drug or an addiction. So that's why you're putting a bunch of people together that are being run. It's like going to prison, right? And these people that are the guards, they've never been most likely on drugs, or they've
Right.
been bullied all their life and so forth. So they want to take back and get revenge or so forth. They don't know how to deal or communicate with the system. It has to take a while to understand, how that level floor over there in B-Mod is run. You know what I'm saying? Is
Hey,
that people they don't taking the time. See, we hear the homelessness, but they're not being heard, That's why there's
right.
still a homeless situation.
And the homie OG Steve said, I think that's a good comment right there. The problem with the shelters is they house drug addicts and mental patients
Yeah,
along
yeah,
with regular people. So
yeah,
regular people are probably in there like regular people really need
right.
help, end up getting robbed or
Well, like I
women end
said,
up getting sexually assaulted. And
right, like I
I'm
said,
sure that
yeah,
is very true.
right, like I
That's just like
said,
jail though.
yeah, no, like I
You
said,
get
me and
jail, you
Monica.
get somebody in there with a ticket that just had, a regular little petty, and they get put in there with some serious dudes.
Yeah. Okay, that's why I told you, me and Monica, in order for me to go to this shelter, most shelters for women, they're just for women and children. There's really no shelter for men, bro.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? To be honest with you, and this shelter was acceptable of having me because me and my wife were married. We had to go through a drug test, a back screening, and so forth to get in this facility. They want you to be clean because you can't really help people who are on drugs or drinking a beer right there. And when you're trying to preach to these pictures, there can't be no contradiction or interruption. It's whether you have a message or you don't.
Right.
That's where it goes. So a lot of these places are being governed and run, like how we're talking about, like countries, in a manner where people get disappointed, get their feelings hurt, or it's just not for them because how it's being, the people behind it. It's just like a job. You go to a job and your boss is a jerk, man, or is an asshole. You're either gonna tell him off or you're gonna leave.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's one or the other. So what happens is a lot of these people who are homeless, they're already sensitive and broken as they come in. So as soon as they hear a little bit of responsibility or what you have to do, they don't like it. Like, hey, so guess what? You can't do drugs today, but tomorrow you got to get up and wash dishes. They'll be like, what the freak?
Right.
I'd
Right.
rather
Right.
be homeless, dog. You know what I'm
Hard to
saying?
take. Yeah, it's hard to take
I'd
all
rather
that
be
in.
homeless. Hey, guess what? We're
Right.
gonna teach you right away how to. So how are you gonna go to the streets of LA and clear homelessness, bro? When
Right.
they sleep to
Yeah.
7 o'clock, they sleep all day, party all night, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
They're used to shitting in their pants. They're used to taking pisses
Right.
where they're used to
Right.
getting on garbage and eating out of the freaking garbage. They don't
Right.
care what you think. They don't care
Right.
what kind of you could
That's
get.
a good point, bro.
You could
That's a
tell
very
them.
good point.
You could tell them, you know what I mean, to go to Beverly Hills and be, they're gonna tell you, screw you, dog. I'm gonna stay right here and freaking Skid Row where I could govern my own shoes. You know what I'm saying? I want to govern my own shoes, dog. I ain't gonna let you govern me, dog. You know what I'm
And
saying?
then I seen too, I don't know if I'm gonna say this right, but not that people want to be, but people are becoming more comfortable with, okay, I gotta be out here. I'm gonna make the best of it. See people hook up their little setups and people be really having some of those little spots hooked up, bro. And they're like, okay, I'm good. You know what I mean? I mean, as bad as it sounds, that's true. You know, people are comfortable out there,
Well,
homie. I don't
why
gotta
in
pay
the
rent.
hell? Why in the hell?
Up, Cholo trucker.
If I'm homeless, give a freak what you think, homie.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If I'm freaking homeless, why in the hell am I gonna care what anybody in this effing city is gonna care about, dog? I'm gonna put up my tent. I'm gonna set up shop right here, just like freaking you. And this
Right.
is America. We could do it, but the
Right.
law says you can't, and you could get in trouble for encampments and so forth because they come with diseases. They come with a lot of, you know what I mean. There's dangers to these encampments, places, sickness, disease. There's rapes, there's killings, there's so much drugs, there's so much things that's involved in these. That's why it's bad, and that's why it's these little communities are not really allowed because they know LA City Council and the politicians, they know what it's subjected to. If we let all these little campments, druggies, all this stuff is gonna happen, that's gonna be a society just like the movies, right? You ever seen that movie with Wesley Snipes and Arnold Demolition Man?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you got your groups that are under the tunnels, and you got your people playing house on the top of the city. So
Yeah.
that's just the reality of how things are today. Just like anything else, you're never gonna get rid of anything, bro.
It is what it is.
Nick says it perfect. Like you're not. The day you discover a pill or a cure for mental illness is the day you'll see less violence, less freaking homelessness, less families being separated, less a lot of this stuff, because mental illness, a lot of people there's a lot of stuff and trauma that falls behind it. Me as myself, I'm a statistic to this bad society. I grew up without a father. My father died. Many of you guys know gang violence. I was only 11 months. So I grew up without a father. How in the hell do I know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm saying? A lot of people out here will be like, Big D, you make some sense. Well, you know what? Another way, even though I went to school and I went through all this, you got to live a little bit.
Right.
And you have to be in reality. You got to keep it real. You know what I'm saying? Put yourself in other people's shoes. You want to ask why? Put yourself in their shoes and you'll get a better answer and you'll see a reason why. People are homeless. They're homeless because they don't have a place to live. Now why they don't have a place to live? Well, it's because of this. Ask the individual. Ask that damn person. Go walk there and talk to that city. Talk to the homeless man. Tell me why. And you'll be surprised. There's probably stories out there that make you cry. Now they're homeless because of certain reasons, an illness. A tragedy, a death to the wife or the son. You just don't know, man. So the only way to cure homelessness is cure the person individually or try to make an attempt towards it. You got to rate them. You got to put a number on them. Okay, who's coming in today? And sometimes that door open, and sometimes the door closes, bro. It's just that fast. As fast as it opens, as fast as it closes, man. So that's just the way life is sometimes, man. And if you want to be a prodigy and make a difference in something, get involved. Like be a counselor. Be
It starts with us. Everything starts with you, though. We have to remember before we can point fingers or ask someone else to do it, or why is this not going on? We have to ask
any
ourselves
better.
what we do. And I know some can do more, some can do less, but any little bit counts. So we got to start, unfortunately, with ourselves, man. That's where it starts at.
Right? What's that old saying, Pops? If I can't help myself, how am I going to help you?
That's a fact. And that is a fact. If I,
that's the truth.
help myself, and a lot of people can't help themselves. So we have to do better at that, man. So it starts. Go back and listen to this show. We touched on a lot of things on our takes of what we can do. There's nothing we can do. No one can save everyone. Like you said, it's going to be what it is. But we can start with ourselves, and we have to start educating ourselves and our family, our kids, our people under us, little homies, whoever, with anything we can to better ourselves with what we need to know to get further, whether it be laws. We need to understand these laws, whether you want to go to another country, like we said, know what country you're going to and what they accept and what they don't. You know what I mean? Don't get caught slipping on me. And just, do that, man. Educate yourself with something, man. Anything. It doesn't have to be, you don't have to be great at school, books and all that. Educate, even if you're going to be in the streets and say you're going to be this, you're going to still sell dope and do all this, do your thing. Educate yourself on how to be a better dope dealer. Unfortunately, I don't mean to say it that way, but whatever you want to do, educate yourself to make yourself better, homie, or you're going to be
I wish we could, that's how, we'll go to another little topic for a little bit, you know what I'm saying? We got time, people. Do we have time a little bit? No, it's just 1:30 past the hour, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
30, no, we'll tap into this for a little bit, man. It's like you said right now, educate, man. It's like educating our youngsters, man. There'll be a lot of less gang violence if we educate our homies. I think why a lot of homies are out there doing the things that are doing because they don't have no more homies to rely on or to school them.
Exactly. Or
To be
school.
honest, a lot of them
They
had
ain't taught
grew up,
them anything.
so now you get a bunch of knuckleheads that that are in the clica, and now they're running their own freaking dictatorship country. You know what I'm saying? They're running with their own iron fist. So what we
A
talk
lot of
about
these youngsters are
worldwide,
mad at a lot of these youngsters, but what did we show them? Did we do anything about it? A lot of us, we can't
exactly.
say we did. So that's just a fact.
Now they're running and governing their own kayas and their own blocks, their own iron fist way, and we wonder why these guys in the next generation is a little harder to reach. Well, it's harder to reach because nobody taught them. It's harder to teach. How are you going to teach a generation that's not going to listen? Well, because maybe the homies busted 30 years and all that. You can't dare to educate them. Maybe some homies, they got tired, got married, and they moved on, educated themselves, got a jale. People just don't disappear for a reason. They disappeared because they're trying to make something better themselves. They're dead. A lot of my generation, a lot of my brothers are dead, man, to be honest with you. So now we're looking at another generation like, well, why are they acting like the way they do? I mean, I've been pretty shocked myself to go back and to see my young little brothers that I don't know about how they're acting too. So it's everywhere, it's everywhere, but it's the impact in you and the decisions you make and what you bring back to your community. That's what are you going to bring back? What do you bring back to your household? When I go back to my household, I come back with bread. You know what I mean? I come back with answers and resolutions and at least something that we could entitle, like if I don't know it all, my wife fills in that gap. My daughter will say something, that would be like, wow, that makes a lot of sense. And it takes the struggle and the pain and the worriness away. Now, a lot of people, like I said, they're homelessness because they don't want to deal with anything, man. They don't want to deal with nothing, man. They don't want to pay a bill. They don't want nobody telling them to when to use the restroom, how to use it, when to brush their teeth. They just don't. The people who are homeless are already so far into what they're dabbed into. It's like Pop said earlier, man, you're gonna need a miracle. It's a blessing, man, to reach these type of people. They're actually gonna know if people care. People are being so cold, man.
Said it's gonna take a miracle.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what's hard right now, man. Even to people are be lovers of themselves, man, before they even help you now. It's hard to even get help from people, man. I see it all over. What's crazy about social media I ship out, man, and all these channels pops. I don't know, on some of these channels, man, how they started off strong and then they ended up like, what I'm saying? And it's just it's just like they know what they're saying, they know what they're doing, but it's get to the point, man. You know what I'm saying? That's
Keep
what
it
we're
real, like Big D,
real,
like
man.
he's saying, keep it real. A lot of people are going on gimmicks and click stuff just to catch, just to draw attention sometimes, and if it's not authentic or real or something that can really teach someone or learn or we could take away, it's gonna be
Thank you.
disposable, man. You know what I mean?
Right.
So that's what's happening a lot. People are running out of bullshit, BS,
There you
to
go.
keep it simply plain. You
Right,
know,
right.
people aren't stupid. People are kind of stupid in the way they love the BS as well. People love to be entertained, but once they're done with that and they realize there's nothing really there, they're gonna move on. So
Yeah, and try
be
not to
authentic.
put.
It ain't about the view. Just be authentic with yourself, and you'll have people that really
There
real
you
people
go.
at least that
Be
deal with you
authentic.
and respect you, homie.
There you go. But yeah, man, great show, man. You know what I mean? Shout out to everybody that's on there. Cholo Trucker, what's up, man? I heard about your story, how you got hit by the by
Shout out to Cholo Trucker, my
Cholo
boy, man.
Trucker
He
got
been
hit
going
by
through it,
a
man.
car, man. I couldn't believe that. I'm glad you're good, man. God bless you, brothers,
God
man.
bless you, Cholo Trucker. We
You
love
gotta
you,
be
homie.
cool, homie. You gotta be cool, dog.
That's the world's most interesting man, dude. So he's gonna continue to
Continue your
go on the
progress, man.
journeys he does and do what he does, man. That's why we respect you, Cholo Trucker. Keep on trucking, my boy. Much love and respect to you, homie.
Yeah, man. Heck
Badge, Nick, thank you, homie. Each
yeah,
one
man.
teach one.
Hey, man, but shout out to everybody, man. Appreciate everybody. And it was good topic, man, tonight, man. Started off, a little strong, but we ended with a little bit of sensitivity.
Yes,
Big
sir.
shout out to everybody that was out here, man. Shout out to Nick, DD Hairston, everybody else, Denise Castillo, everybody, man. It's your boy Big D. And
Man,
no,
this your boy
yeah.
G-Lew. And man, I had a great, let me just say this. I went off screen briefly, but I want to say I had a great time tonight. I love when we can come together and break bread. This is really the reason for the show. We don't just get on here to talk and talk to you guys. We really get on here to try to really bring some content and real resolution and real talk, as they say, to the platform and to the airwaves out there in YouTube land. Because we got enough of time resolution. So that's what we try to bring. So I hope we can do that. And this is what we do. That's why we only come on a couple times a month, every other week. We want to have some content and really, think about what we want to say and bring you guys some real good talk, as they say in conversation, because this is Let's Talk About It. So this is what we're gonna do, people.
Let's talk about it. Yo, let's talk about it.
My bad.
Let's talk about it. Yo, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yo, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yo, let's talk about it.
Fabulous G-Lew.
Let's talk about it. Yo,
Rule forever.
let's talk about it. Yo, let's talk
Thank you
about
for
it. Let's talk about it. Yo, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Yo, let's talk
about it, though. OG Steve, thank you, sir.
Yo, let's talk about
OG
it.
Steve, Nick, appreciate it, man.
Nick,
Thanks for the
Charlie,
support.
Polo Tucker, Monica, my sis. What up, Monica? Let's talk about it. Thank you for your love and support. Thank you to my producer, DD, always making it happen. All the loyal viewers, supporters, anyone that loves real content, this is what we're going to bring you. We're never going to come on stupidity or reckless clickbait activity, man. We're going to keep it real over here, like my homie Big D's name.
That's right. Appreciate everybody, man. Like I said, happy holidays, man. Make sure you guys tap by, swing by my channel. We still up and coming, right behind, the G-Lew show. We appreciate all you guys supporters, man. Let's keep making this channel grow. We talk about hot topics, good things, nothing but encouraging and love, man. Hey, happy holidays. Let's see if we could get this New Year's thing going. We get together, do that live.
Oh, yeah. Let's hold up. We're going to talk about that more, but we want to do this on New Year's. We're going to bring we're gonna do our own party right here. Me and the homie Big D, we're gonna collaborate and gonna kick it. And everyone out there, if you're in that night and want to have a good party virtually, we'll be here. We're gonna have a great time, I promise you. So tap in. Also, Friday night, don't forget, we got the homegirl Jen Magana. Convicted Hearts will be live on the G-Lew show Friday. You don't want to miss that. I'm telling you, it's gonna be a great conversation. So tune in Friday, people. Go ahead, Big D.
Take us out. All right. You got your Wednesdays too, right, Pops?
Wednesdays, on the G-Lew show, my radio show. Check that out too. If you're just in on the web, check us out. Blog Talk Radio, the G-Lew show. Me and Queen Jean do that every Wednesday night and Sundays. Thank you, Big D.
Yeah. All right, man. Like I said, man, appreciate all you supporters, man. We love you, man. Blessings to all you guys, man. It's the holidays. Happy holidays, man. Enjoy your presents and all your wrappings and everything you guys do with your baking and everything else. Like I said, it's your boy Big D.
Big D.
And the Bengals.
Hey, shout out to the Bengals. You guys are doing good, homie. Salute, homie.
That's the next conversation.
Bengals are doing real good, man. Salute to the Bengals. Shout out to all the ones. Shout out to the Cowboy. I know it's a lot of Cowboy fans out there. I'm not gonna hate her. So Cowboys are doing good. So shout out to all the winners. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna speak on my Raiders, but shout out to all the winners out there. You guys keep doing your thing. Like I said again, don't forget Friday night, Jen Magana will be here. And don't forget Oldies Rule Forever Sundays with me and Nate Love, man. It goes down. Check out DD Saturday's Conversations in the Hookah Lounge. And with that being said, we're out of here. Peace, love, y'all. Much respect. Have a great week. We're out of here. Peace. Let's talk about it.